Hey guys, so I just received a message in one of my WhatsApp groups just about a couple of minutes ago from a friend. She created this safe space. We call it the Inspiration Group, a group of probably four women, inclusive of myself, who share our daily struggles, just our daily stories, our nuggets, and most importantly, our dose of inspiration. And it's a really good space for me because a lot of the times I'm not in the best space of mind. I might be going through somewhat of a depression or you're just having a down day. Sometimes you're feeling a negative way, but you can't really and truly identify why, and sometimes you don't want to identify why. It's just the natural course of things. We have bad days, so it has become a great space for me to dip in and pull out something that's positive or inspiring, and I'm really and truly appreciative of the group. Now, just a few minutes ago, my friend said to me in the group, rather, she was like, so long story short, she's been talking to this guy for some time now. And last night she was there, trying to run him down, figure out, I guess, where he was, if I understood right. And, he returned her call or her message, and he was like, but madam, what can you offer me in a relationship? What can you really and truly offer me in a relationship? And in trying to justify herself and her fullness to him, she said, I can offer you commitment, I can offer you loyalty, I could offer you commitment to shared goals, I can offer you to walk this path with you, commitment to family, to love, to this relationship, this union. And I'm sure she was sharing her truth. That's truly how she felt, but it made her question, if she's already offering all of those things to herself. And for me, that was powerful, that little piece of introspection, because a lot of the times we are out here, like, the people, young people nowadays, they say selling dreams, making commitments, that we don't even have to ourselves, that we don't even know how to make. So something gave me a jolt, a memory. I remember being really young and falling in love. And at that time, I was probably 18. This would be the first true love of my life. Somebody I hold dear and near to this day, even though we're not together. And I remember being a part of or trying to organize a non-profit organization group, already a part of it, but trying to liaison with the international leg of it, which was, taking some time, but for an ultimate good. Women coming together, young women coming together for positive good, giving back to the community, being humanitarians, serving a purpose. And so many projects that we wanted to put on as fundraisers to assist young children, young girls, young boys. It required us injecting a big substantial amount of money. Now, the guy who I was with was wealthy. He was well off. And most of the times, what I had to do in instances like these is I had to go to him and ask him, can you please give me this amount of money to do this fundraiser? And really and truly, it was defeating the purpose of the fundraiser because, why put in this amount of money to and put in effort to raise funds when, he could just give me the money and I'll take it to the kids. For me, it was bigger than that. And at that time, I didn't realize, I didn't know how to do these type of things. So I was going about it the wrong way. But he said something very powerful to me. He said, Jovan, you cannot continue to give to the world when you're not in a position to do so. And in the first 10 to 20 seconds of that statement, I was highly offended. I felt humiliated. I felt like, this cause is so near and passionate to my heart. And I am literally, I can't afford it. I'm literally going to another man or my man who, however I chose to put it, for him to sponsor a dream of mine. And I felt like, is he throwing this in my face? I internalized that for the first 20 seconds as, I lacked. I don't have. I'm not good enough to do this. And after that 20 seconds passed, I remember hugging the thought of what he said because it resonated. It made me realize that, and as everyone else, as the people around us, we are so willing to give to others. We are so willing to run on E in order to serve another person or serve our communities, our children, our wives, our husbands. We are so willing to give all of ourselves without replenishment, without rejuvenation, without refilling, refueling our full selves. And it made me realize that, I need to revisit the way I was doing things. But in closing, he also said, in order to serve this world in this big capacity, in this big vision that you have for serving, you have to first serve yourself. You have to put yourself in the best possible position to give to the world. And the only way for you to do that is to first master self. And I know self-mastery is a continuous process, but you really have to fulfill and develop yourself. Now, long story short, that thought came to my mind because, like she said, all these things she's willing to commit. A lot of us are willing to extend things, extend privileges, to other people that we haven't first extended to ourselves. We are willing to commit to bettering somebody else's life before committing to the development of our own. We are willing to be loyal to somebody else's goals, to support our man, be his ride or die. They say behind every successful man is a good woman. We are willing to do all that and so much more before being loyal to our morals and our ethics and our sense of self and our sense of discernment, without even investing time into development classes, into public speaking, into dealing with our anger, into conflict management, into the art of forgiveness, into releasing the baggage, into developing yourself holistically, mentally, physically, emotionally, holistically. We are so loyal to the dreams and the goals and the cause of everyone else except ourselves. And we wonder why relationships fail. We wonder why people get into something with the best of intentions, but eventually once the layers start to strip away, once the honeymoon passes, once you fall in and out of love and in love, out of love, in love, and then out of love again, that it wasn't the fairy tale that you envisioned. And a lot of the times that is because we camouflage who we truly are. And we are not willing to acknowledge the truth that we are not wholesome. We may not be at the right place to step into these type of situations, these type of commitments with somebody else. So I remember also being just about a year and a half ago with someone who, again, was well off. I've had that luck, fortunately, but well off, financially stable, businessman, ambitious, very industrious person. And I remember having a little girl talk with my girlfriends. We were in New Amsterdam. We were at this little bar. Well, it was not really like a bar, more like a snackhead, but they sold alcohol. And we were having a shandy. Me and my friends were sitting at this table, and there's a young lady around us. She was a new friend. For those of you who know me, you would know I've had my friends for years. So she was a friend that was introduced by one of my friends to the group. And I think she was attracted to our presence, our light. She was attracted to what we were doing with our young lives. But nevertheless, way younger than us. So she's sitting at the table, and we're having a conversation about this man that I was falling in love with. And, that he was doing all these things for me. But I was just sharing in a place of happiness and contentment. Of course, you're sitting around your girls and you're happy to express and you don't mind being vulnerable. And I'm saying to her, he's doing all these things for me and he's a real special man. We have beautiful conversation. It's amazing. This man had me in a 4-bedroom home, not an apartment, not, a home, literally on a corner where, people came and do the landscaping. They were mowing the lawns. There's a security hut. Beautiful, absolutely stunning piece of property. A 4-bedroom house that clearly I could not even afford. But my point here is, as much as all of that was beautiful and fulfilling in some regard, in my home, I was empty. I was empty. Now, I said that to her, and she was like, Jovan, you're lucky, you're blessed. That's mine, whatever. And she was pointing to all the positives, which I was initially acknowledging. I wasn't denying the positives. But in that space, I realized she only heard what this man was doing for me. She didn't hear the lack. She didn't hear the fact that in his absence, money couldn't comfort my bed. In his absence, I needed him more than anything else. She didn't hear that no matter how much money he gave me, I was still unhappy, because more than anything else, I wanted him to be with me. I wanted to spend my day with him. I wanted to, at the end of our work day, come home to each other, talk to each other, and it just wasn't our reality. So in that space of her going on and on and on about the money and the money and the money, I said to her, listen, she said, I'm lucky. I said, listen, this is not a matter of luck. This is a matter of you continuing to work on you, continuing to develop yourself, continuing to master yourself, finding visions and goals, defining them, the ones that resonate with you, where you think you belong, exploring your purpose, sitting with yourself through introspection, sitting with your thoughts, milking it, nurturing it, defining it, writing it down, working towards it. No matter how small your strides are, continuously putting one foot in front of the other to achieve your goals. I personally believe wholeheartedly, from the bottom of my heart, and this is my truth, that once you continue to master self, continue to work on you, you eventually come into oneness with your bigger self, with your best self. You fall into alignment with the Creator who made you in His image and His likeness. You start to walk in your truth. You start to tap into the deepest corners of your potential, and eventually you start to live in light and liberation, because everything you do as you continue to listen to yourself and focus on yourself puts you a step closer to your ultimate purpose on this earth. And that was my reminder to her, not to see the monetary or the financial gains, not to see the material things, not to see how, what this appeared to be, because eventually it would dissolve and I would realize that he wasn't who he, had proclaimed himself to be. So it's really not about all those things. It's about who you are in every situation, and who you are is a matter of how much time you invest in developing you. And that was my reminder to her. I said to her, continue to work on you, because she was one of those young girls who, she was a little, how to put this? She wasn't as focused as she needed to be. She got carried away by, just like she mentioned, all the material things, partying and the fast life and getting things easy, not recognizing that you have to continuously work on yourself. And I know self-mastery is a work in progress, continuously developing yourself, but you have to make a conscious, intentional effort to do that. And I feel in doing so, you will continue to attract good people into your life. You will continue to attract good circumstances into your life, and you will continue to live your best life. And for me, that's the formula. The formula is working on self-development, self-mastery. So in saying all of this, I know this message is a bit long. My message to you today, or I'm imploring you rather, to continue to work on you. We think about all the blessings that we do not have, missing the blessings that we do have. We have to learn how to dream big with a grateful heart. So even though we might not be satisfied and comfortable with where we are in life, we have to give thanks and live in the present and be one with what's happening. Be current, be present with what's happening right now. And I think that is the formula to attract bigger and better things into your life. So I implore you today, whether you're a man, a woman, a child, again, continue to work on yourself. You have to remember that an empty cup cannot pour. You have to remember that you cannot continue to run on E. Eventually, you will crash. The best way, again, to serve the world is to first serve yourself. And the best way to help and to heal the world is to put yourself in a position to do so, whether that be education, whether that be motivational speeches every day, whether that be writing down your goals and making short-term goals to get to those bigger ultimatums, whatever it is, continue to invest time in you. Continue to develop yourself. And again, a better you will better serve the world. Have a great week ahead.